I think some realization of this routine that I've set for myself is sinking in more, which is that if you put something out on the internet, people are going to see it. That's kind of how it works. Um, yeah, I posted a video on my Instagram page of a cover I was working on, and I noticed that it got some shares. And I don't even know if it was me who shared it, which is kind of funny. But then the idea that, like, I don't know, I guess that's part of the exercise within yourself is if you want to say things and you want to write or have anything that people are going to consume, you have to be willing to have people consume it. Yeah, that's a novel concept. I have my timer going. I have my charger going, which you might be able to see. Yeah, for the past couple videos, I've been saying, who knows if my computer's going to turn off? And I almost wonder if that's been like a self defensive mechanism to say, I don't care that much. And also, here's hoping it just shuts down in the middle of what I'm saying and I don't have to complete what I'm doing. But yeah, all the things we do to make excuses and cop out. I've been really trying to focus on my health and exercise for a lot of different reasons, and I feel like that discipline is way harder than sitting in front of a camera for 10 minutes and talking about nonsense, which is basically all this requires of me. Um, yeah, that is way harder and requires much more discipline. So, um, so yeah, it's all relative. I feel like this is like the easiest hard thing that I could do right now. And it's fun. And I think another big like thing that I've been getting out of this is I really love to name things and I really love to title things. Like if I could just come up with a million restaurant ideas and name them and conceptualize them and then have nothing to do with any of the execution and that's just my whole job, I would love it. Or, naming movies, conceptualizing the movie, saying like defining the cast and then just being like want nothing else to do with it. Or I guess that would be kind of like directing. Like I feel like I would enjoy those like yeah, I feel like I would enjoy that. I mean, I already do that with songs and pieces of writing where I just like the title and I don't actually want to do all of the finishing, which is pretty classic and pretty embarrassing. Like I don't think there's anything. Yeah, I feel like I feel like it's kind of almost a parody. Mm, it's almost like a parody to be someone who's like, I just really like to have all the ideas, but then not have to do any of the brunt work to actually see it through to its completion. But I have to say that watching Severance, I have been talking about creating Severance, what Severance is. I've been talking about creating some form of either collection of short stories or like a television program or something like that. That is exactly Severance for years. Years. Like starting probably in like 2018, I have just had this vision of what Severance is. So whoever created Severance, thank you for basically executing what was in my brain way better than I probably ever could. Um, and and it's funny because it's like I think there's part of me that's like, why didn't I get to do that? But actually, it's the best case because I've had this vision of like the words that I've used about Severance before Severance existed, of what I wanted to create, was kind of like um, labyrinthine is a word that I would always use to describe it. And when you think about all the imagery in Severance of them just like being in the maze of an office environment, it's pretty labyrinthine. And just like all of the absolute insanity that comes with corporate environments, like business environments like that, I think there is just so much about it that can be easily corrupted. And in terms of like what it is, what it means for the human spirit, I think it can be really easily corrupted. And Severance really captures that. And that's not to say, I mean, there's a lot of good that large corporations do for the world. And I think being someone who works for a large corporation, I see all the good that it does. for the people it employs, for the world. Like, I don't think that it's all bad, but I think like anything that can do a lot of good can also do a lot of bad and can be corrupted. And also just the premise of that is really fascinating. So anyway, I definitely pitched the idea to a number of people, and I think like hive mind is what we all live in. So I'm sure other people have had that idea before because it's a really common experience that we all live. And yeah, I mean, I love pop culture and I love media and film and television. And I think there's just, because it's the reason why I love it is because it's the hive mind speaking back to us. So at my worst, I'll see it and I'll be like, was this, it's like that the Black Mirror episode where the algorithm gets so tweaked that it's exactly like that it's her looking back at herself. I'll try to put the name of that episode in the description because I can't remember it. But yeah, I think at its worst, I feel like I'm living in that episode of Black Mirror where it's just like insanity, where it feels like it was made especially for you. But then I think what the reality is that we're already living in a very small world. And when you filter down a lot of factors, it becomes even smaller. So I'm not going to get into that, but like when you think about being a target demographic, like your target demographic gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So the message is pretty distilled for a specific audience, and you fit into that audience. So I think rather than feeling targeted and feeling like it's specifically about you, it's more like you fit a specific experience that others share, and yeah, hive mind speaking back and whatnot. What was I gonna say? Severance. Yeah, I think that there's a lot more about Severance to kind of get to there, but that's what I was gonna say. But thinking about the fact that I have essentially been writing Severance in my mind in some form for a long time with not a lot of seriousness to it. So it's not like I have like any script written. It's just a lot of ideating and conceptualizing over many years and pitching to people about why I feel like it should exist. But what that means, because I never got that far down, and obviously I didn't write or produce or do anything for Severance, you would know, I get to enjoy it, which is like the best part. It feels kind of like I like to have like wanted this thing for so long, and then to be able to watch it and enjoy it is just really, and not only watch it and enjoy it, but be able to reflect on this message that I've felt like was there, that I didn't really know how it would look and feel, and then being able to kind of like see that message back. I feel like very, very selfishly, I have gotten a lot of, I don't want to say healing, but I guess healing. I've gotten a lot of healing by watching it. Just, yeah, like I think for so many different reasons, but a big one being that I work in a corporate environment that feels very Lumen-esque. Not that it's always horrible, negative, it's not, but it has, any large corporation is going to have elements of a Lumen type, like, management is going to be part of any corporate experience. Branding and branded swag and perks and stuff, like that's all part of any company that you're going to work for that's like that. I think even not companies, but schools, schools are businesses, and even the US government has a ton of branding that you receive. So if you work for like the government or the military or whatever. So, but yeah, it's been really healing because I think the work-life balance thing has been broken for a long time. The separation between the personal and professional has been broken for many people for a long time. And I think that there's just so much wrapped up in that story and that world that's been created that allows us to really move past. I'm going to go past my 10 minutes again, but in my work, I'm always really interested in how, if there's a problem that keeps coming up that a group of people keep looking at. So in this case, like we as a culture are looking at the problem of the balance between like work-life balance, personal, professional, and how we like move into a new era of what work means for us. And we keep looking at the same problem because we don't have new ways to conceptualize the problem. Severance gives us a new way to conceptualize the problem so that we can come together and look at the problem differently and then move into solutions or move into this like new reconfiguring of work and time for people. So I hope that having a conceptual framework that we can all refer back to, that we can speak to, that is abstracted. It is an abstraction. It's not literal. And that's, I mean, it's the testament to the power of art. Without art, we wouldn't be able to experiment with new conceptualizations of the reality we're currently living to envision a better future. I'm going to leave it there because I probably could make a million videos about Severance, and maybe I'll continue. I did not think I was going to be talking about Severance in this time right now, and I'm so excited that I did. So, cheers.